What's up guys, it's Intellitech Studios here, and today, in 2019, we are going to go ahead and install Windows Vista, everyone's favorite version of Microsoft's operating system. And it's personally one of my favorite operating systems because it's, well, the prettiest. Hence why my installation of Windows 7 right now looks exactly like Windows Vista. I actually have the 32-bit installation disk for this in there as I am testing it out, but this particular copy comes with both versions. This is also Windows Vista Ultimate, so this is the most complete edition of Windows Vista. It is an upgrade though, which is interesting. I've never had an upgrade copy before, so I don't know what this is going to do. But what we're going to do is, first off, you can see there's the 64-bit disk that we'll be using to install Windows Vista on this machine. And one thing that's interesting is that if I actually go into this, I've had this set up where, first off, just to confirm, this is indeed Windows 7. This is not Windows Vista. It says right there, Windows 7 Professional, 2009 copyright, Service Pack 1, and if I go to WinVer, you can see Windows, yes, it says Windows Vista Ultimate, but the actual version number is 6.1 and build 7601. That's Windows 7. It says Windows 7 Professional right there. So this is indeed Windows 7. But as you can see, I love Vista so much that I actually made my Windows 7 installation look just like Vista. So then you might be asking, well, wait a minute. Okay, so if you clearly like Vista and you made your Windows 7 look like Vista, then why would you install the actual Vista? Well, the answer is because, frankly, it's interesting. Because it's 2019, Vista's not been out of support for 12 years. I got a fully loaded copy of Windows Vista Ultimate for less than $20, so why not? What I'm actually going to do with this laptop, if you can see, if I go into my computer, I have this set up with 3 different partitions. So as you can see, I'm actually going to try boot this with Windows 7 Professional 64-bit, Windows Vista Ultimate 64-bit, and this says Windows Vista 32-bit, but I'm thinking about putting, I'm debating on loading both versions of Vista on here, both 32 and 64-bit, or swapping out the 32-bit version for Windows XP. So I'm not sure which one I'm going to do just yet, but for sure I'm going to want 64-bit Vista on here. So that's what we're going to install today, is 64-bit Windows Vista. So since we have that out of the way, one thing that's interesting and that's annoyed me about the seller is that this copy was marked as being complete and having both original discs, except you can see this, obviously, that's not it. The install window screen, you can see it's working, but, you know, obviously this would be the 32-bit disc, but if I actually close out of this and I open up the tray, you can see that the disc that the guy gave me is actually a burned copy. So this is a burned copy. Now, I have actual discs of Windows Vista. That's no issue. I mainly just bought this for the packaging and just for the novelty factor, which for less than 20 bucks you can't complain, especially because it does have a product key with it. So we're going to check to see if that works, because I do not have a product key for Windows Vista Ultimate. I have a product key for Vista Home Premium, Vista Starter, I think, and Vista Business, but I don't have it for Ultimate. So I also wanted to have a copy of Ultimate because, well, it's Ultimate. Now, Windows 7 Ultimate I don't care about because there's literally no difference over Vista Ultimate, but Vista Ultimate has the video wallpapers, or what is known as Dream Scene, and I really like that, so I want to have Vista Ultimate, whereas Windows 7 Pro is good enough for me, so I run Windows 7 Professional on all my machines that run Windows 7. So the only thing I go beyond Pro on is Vista. Everything else is just Pro, and obviously 8, 10, and XP only go up to Pro, so that's basically that. Anyways, enough rambling. Let's open up this box and grab our Vista 64-bit disc, our lovely, genuine, legitimate disc, which I'm only going to use for this video because I don't want this to get scratched up, and it does have some minor scratches on it, but nothing major. But I want to keep this in good condition, and because I have and then of course after I say that, I immediately drop the disc. Don't worry, it's fine. The disc is fine. It works just fine. Nothing wrong with it. Good to go. So we're going to put the disc in the drive, being very careful with it. And we're going to go ahead and restart this. Restart. You can see it shutting down. So I'm currently shutting down Windows 7. Even though, yes, I know, again, it says Windows Vista Ultimate. It's not actually Vista. This is Windows 7. I just proved it to you. I'm about to install Windows Vista. So it's going to prompt us to press any key, and we're going to do that. Except I don't know if you can see that. There we go. Press any key to boot from CD or DVD. And one thing that's interesting is that I believe, because this doesn't say that it has Service Pack 1 or Service Pack 2 on it, and the other disc said copyright 2007. So I believe this is the RTM of Windows Vista, which, as we all know, is everyone's favorite version of Windows Vista. And one thing that's nice is that I don't have to actually worry about putting my flash drive on here with all the drivers on it, because that's on the other, that'll be on the Windows 7 partition. So yeah, so we're going to go ahead and install Windows Vista. Looks like it's loading the setup for the first time. Ooh, fancy. We got the lovely Aura background. I believe this was actually the background in the beta version of Windows Vista. Okay, so this is interesting because the 32-bit was copyright 2007, which actually makes me think that that disc had Service Pack 1 in it, because Service Pack 1 and Service Pack 2 have copyright dates of 2007. But the RTM has copyright date of 2006. This says copyright 2006, which makes me think that the 32-bit one actually has been updated and has Service Pack 1 on it, or at least some type of update. I believe if it has Service Pack 1 is whenever it changes it to say 2006 to saying 2007, because Vista RTM hit shelves in November of 2006, even though it didn't release until January of 2007. So this 32-bit copy might actually be more up to date than the official copy, which makes sense. And I almost just dropped the box, which scared me because I want this box to be in good condition. So I'm going to set this on my PC's box. Now I'm kind of debating if I should install that 32-bit copy because it might be a little bit different, but whatever. 64-bit's what I'm going to keep. So we're going to go ahead and click install now. And it's going to say, please wait. And again, this is an upgrade copy, which is interesting. Okay, so it's asking for my product key. And since I actually have the product key, I'm going to go ahead and put this in. There we go. It didn't give us an error with the product key, which is good. I also had it set to automatically activate Windows whenever I get internet. So the license terms looks like it's the same between Home Basic, Home Premium, and Ultimate. So we're just going to carefully read all of this. And since we have read and accepted all the license terms, we're just going to go ahead and click next. And of course, it's not going to give us an option to upgrade, but will it give us an option to do a custom install? It looks like it will. Okay. To use the product key you entered, start the installation on a computer that's running a genuine version of Windows. Okay, I'm kind of confused now. Plus, wait, can I? Okay, there we go. So this is Vista Ultimate x64. And I can't press next. Oh, can I format the partition? So I'm going to format this partition. So I'm kind of confused about that. By running in January. Okay, and I can't install it. But that's weird because I I can't do an in-place upgrade from XP 32-bit to Vista 64-bit. So how the heck would I do the upgrade? And I can't. Okay, I can't press next. Okay, I'm gonna go back. Let me figure this out. So this is weird. I went back and I made it to where I basically just erased the product key, and then now it's giving me a bunch of different options to install, which is odd because this says it's just Windows Vista Ultimate, but I guess they have all the versions. Of course, I mean, I could install any of these, but I bought Ultimate, and so I selected the version of Windows that I have purchased, which is accurate because I actually did buy this. So I want Windows Vista Ultimate. Now maybe it'll let me install on that partition. Okay, come on. So now, partition 3. So this is the bigger one. So this is the one I want Vista on. Next, there we go. So now it's going to install Windows. And it just copied all the Windows files. Now it's going to expand the files and install it. You can hear that drive spinning up in the background. Windows Vista. I could have totally sold more copies of Windows Vista. Because I actually really like Windows Vista. I know a lot of people don't like Windows Vista. A lot of people had a lot of bad experiences with Windows Vista. I know Chris Perlow would probably rip my throat out with a machete if he found out that I said this, but I don't care. I like Windows Vista. And I think in my entire life, and I've used Vista for several years, on and off, and I think in the entire time it's only blue screened on me once. Actually, I know that for sure. It's only blue screened on me once, whereas Windows 7's blue screened on me like 3 times. Windows 8 is blue screened on me about, maybe 5 times. Although a few of those were hardware related. Same story with Windows 10. Windows 10 also blue screened on me, but I think it was only ever specifically hardware related, meaning like overclocking and stuff like that, not actually stability of the software itself. And of course, Windows XP is blue screened on me 1,000 times too. So out of every modern version of Windows, Windows Vista has been the most stable in my experience. Windows 7, Windows XP, Windows 8, even Windows 10 have all blue screened on me a lot more than Vista has. So, and the one time it did blue screen on me, it was the RTM running on my old ThinkPad, and it blue screened on me once. But Service Pack 1 and Service Pack 2, platform update Windows Vista, never once blue screened on me. never once crashed, never had any issues with glitching or just being unstable and buggy. That was never an issue in my experience. Sure, the Vista RTM was a little bit buggy, but Service Pack 2 is even more stable than Windows 7 in my experience. It's way less buggy than any version of Windows 7, and even early builds of Windows 8 and Windows 8.1 are all buggier than Vista in my experience. Because they actually went back and fixed some things in Vista, but then never carried that over to Windows 7 and Windows 8, which is bizarre. But that's what Microsoft did. And a lot of the stuff that they fixed in Vista didn't get fixed until Windows 10. So, like for example, glitching with the File Explorer. A lot of times in Windows 7 and Windows 8, they would actually glitch and be in an attempt to show the Windows Vista color scheme. Like how in Vista, when you maximize a window, it turns black. Windows 7, even a fully updated Windows 7, if you maximize a window, a lot of times it will glitch. Like it'll do that effect for like half a second and then stop, and it'll just like glitch out, and it's really weird. And I'm sorry for anyone who didn't notice it, who now notices it and can't stand it. I apologize, but I noticed it and it really bothered me. And it's still a problem in my version of Windows 7. So ironically, my version of Windows 7 that looks like Vista on this computer is going to be more buggy than this version of Vista once it's fully updated. Of course, this is the RTM it's installing right now, so it's going to be a lot buggier than my 7 Service Pack 1 fully updated installation is. But what are you going to do about that? Sorry, I was going to upload a video earlier today because it's Thursday as the time I filmed this, but I was really sick earlier today, so that's why I might not sound the most enthusiastic despite the fact that I'm installing my favorite version of Windows. So my apologies for that, but I hope you at least enjoyed the crappy guitar while this thing installs on this computer. Now it says installing updates, which is interesting because what updates is it installing? There's no updates on this CD. It's the RTM. What is it installing? The world may never know. Windows needs to restart to continue. I'll just go ahead and press enter. Restart now. And it will restart and finish up. And now it's giving us oh, never mind. Gave us an option as far as whether to boot into Vista or Windows 7. And now it's starting Vista. "19 minutes in, this is still installing." Although it only took about maybe 15 of those minutes of actually installing Vista. Okay, now it's doing the performance check, which Vista tends to do. I don't know why this isn't focused. There we go. So you can see it's doing the little check for the performance. The disk just stopped spinning, so it looks like it's going off the hard drive now. And these dots are moving. Dots are moving. Cloud installs Vista. Dots moving on the screen. Vista is installing on the ThinkPad. It's so fun. It's so fun. And we have a mouse cursor. And the disk is spinning up again. And it's completing the installation. So it's completing the installation, and we will see what it does next. A lot of people say that this song accurately describes Vista. If you know what song I just played, leave it in the comments. And if you don't know what band played the song that I just played, then maybe something else will give you a hint. Okay, I didn't do that right. I haven't played in a while, so I suck. But either way. Hey, 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 come out and play. And now it's going to ask us to choose an operating system. So I'm going to manually select Windows Vista. And it will start up, and looks like Vista will start up, and it will give us the out-of-box experience at this point. Probably, because I think it's done now. Hopefully, we will see. Either way, we'll see what it's about to do right now as the disk spins up, and so does the hard drive, and we can see what this is about to do. Come on. Cracking my knuckles in support of Windows Vista. Come on, go. Click, 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 mouse, mouse, mouse. Okay, come on, Vista, can we see anything on the screen? Oh, we have loading. We have loading. And there we go. Now we have the out-of-box experience. So, isn't that fancy? So we're going to go ahead and type a username. I'm going to select the puppy because puppies are wonderful. And we'll just do that. And click next. And I want this to say ThinkPad _ SL510. And I want this wallpaper because that's my favorite wallpaper. Although, well, of course the Aurora. And this nighttime one looks really nice. But I'll go with this. This one's always my favorite. And I want to use recommended settings. I'm in Central Time. Is that really what time it is? No, it's 11:43. 11:43, not 12:43. 11:43. And it's PM. No. And it's PM. 11:43 PM. Now it's okay. Now it's 11:44. So now we got to change that. 11:44 p.m. Central Time. It's actually Halloween. We haven't gotten any trick-or-treaters, though. We got one guy. The only trick-or-treater we got was a random guy from Jimmy John's who came to the wrong house. That was it. And he didn't want any candy. He just wanted to give a sandwich to someone. So now we have the out-of-box experience where it does the Windows Experience Index. It gauges the computer. I mean, it says on the bottom, please wait while Windows checks your computer's performance. And then it gives us all the wonderful little Vista, things. And you gotta admit, this is very pretty. This looks so much nicer than the modern versions of Windows, like Windows 8 and Windows 10. And even looks better than Windows 7, in my opinion. And I know there's a ton of people who agree with me on that. Even if they hate Windows Vista, they're like, yeah, but Vista does look really pretty. It does look nicer than Windows 7. You got the super high-res icons and graphics and widescreen wallpapers out of the box that are full HD. Not even full HD. They're 1920 by 1200 wallpapers, which is even today is still very modern and up to date. I don't think any Windows wallpapers have gone beyond that resolution. Not that I'm aware of. But yeah. And I do want to get a 1920 by 1200 monitor because I think a little bit of extra real estate would be really cool. Ideally, I'd like a 2560 by 1600 monitor because it's 16 by 10, but it's 1440p. But one can dream. Those are expensive. Even just standard 1440p monitors are much cheaper. So you kind of pay a crap ton more just for that extra little bit of vertical space. And it looks like it's going to boot up now. Aha. Preparing your desktop. Windows Vista Ultimate. And why did this camera just shift downwards? Fix that. So 27 minutes in and Vista is finally installed. Let's see how long it takes to get to the desktop. Oh, there we go. It's at the desktop. And it's probably going to pull up the little welcome prompt that always pops up. And right now we have no internet, so we'll have to hunt for drivers. So it's recognizing all 5.8 gigs of RAM, which I believe Windows 7 had the same issue. So we can see there's a Core 2 Duo T6570. And this is indeed Windows Vista Ultimate. So, and of course we have a lovely Windows Vista sidebar. No arrow. So I'm going to go ahead and install all the drivers and we'll get back to it. Right now we're installing the graphics driver. So we will see how well this works. I tried to install the Wi-Fi driver and I installed the wrong one. So it didn't work. What a surprise. I tried to install the Windows XP one, which should have in theory worked, but it gave me an error message, so I might have to go back and run it in compatibility mode. As we all know, the original version of Windows Vista struggled a little bit with backwards compatibility. Just a tad, not a whole lot, just a tiny little bit. It struggled with Windows XP compatibility. I mean, it's not like it was so bad that it completely broke compatibility with a bunch of people's software and made Vista practically unusable. I mean, it's not like that was a thing. I mean, right? I saw on Reddit there was actually someone who dressed up as the Realtek driver, the Install Shield wizard. Was basically like his Halloween costume. So he dressed up for Halloween as the Install Shield wizard. So he dressed like a wizard and had the Install Shield logo. That little logo right there on his costume. And I thought that was really cool. I saw it on Reddit. And I thought that was pretty funny. And I'm going to say no to this because I'm still trying to find the Wi-Fi driver and install that. I just looked at a clock. Well, I might say I looked at the clock, but I looked at a clock either way. You know what I mean. The point is, it's midnight now. If I can point and have it still be within frame, it's midnight. It's midnight, and it's November. Oh my god, it's November. So Halloween's officially over. Now I can finally change my Twitter handle. The best way to celebrate installing Windows Vista is with Vanilla Pepsi. I'm not sponsored, but I wish they'd sponsor me. If you want Vista, you gotta have vanilla. They should have done like a joint partnership back then. I believe they had Pepsi Vanilla back then. So they could have totally done like a joint marketing campaign, Vista plus vanilla. But then again, that probably wouldn't be good because then they basically be saying that Windows Vista is a vanilla operating system, which is far from it because if the machine's blue screening like 3 out of 10 times on any machine with an NVIDIA card in it, I would say that's anything but vanilla. Gotta love driver installations. Isn't this wonderful? Yay. Oh, crap. Let's do the first restart and see how well this thing does. Shutting down. Let's see how fast this takes to shut down and then boot back up. ThinkPad. It's probably going to ask me which version of Windows to use. Okay, I don't want to boot from the disk, which reminds me, take the disk out. I don't want Windows Vista. So the disk definitely works, so I'm happy about that. Installed with no issues. So that is definitely wonderful. Put the box back together. And see how long this takes to boot up. Now we're just sitting here with the mouse. Come on. There's Vista. I thought I installed the graphics driver. Why is this still all zoomed in and not? Why is this still at 800 by 600 instead of 1366 by 768? Because this ThinkPad screen is so much crappier than the one on my old ThinkPad. Or on my T500. Because these are both about the same age. Although, actually, no, the T500 is from 2008. This is from 2009. Because this came out, this is one of the launch machines with Windows 7. And yet it still supports XP and Vista. And it kind of supports Windows 8. And I haven't tried Windows 10 on it yet. Oh, now it's doing something. It's running Windows System Assessment Tool. What is this? I don't know what this is. I've never seen this before. This is weird. Runtime. Okay. Oh. Aha. Okay. Oh, look at this. That's pretty. So we got Windows Arrow. Look at that. So beautiful. Gorgeous. I'll have to grab the updates to get Dream Scene working. So what I'm going to do is, yeah, so look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Move this Pepsi, although that is gorgeous too, but we're going to move it out of the way. And then, of course, window key tab. I love this. This is just so beautiful. Yeah, so... And even on the RTM, this is still, with Windows Arrow, this is surprisingly smooth. And of course, maximize it. See, this one's got that glitch too, but they fixed it in Service Pack 2, but this is the RTM. But yeah, and if I go to computer, and you can see it's really fast too. This is even faster than Windows 7. Because my Windows 7 installation is a lot slower than this. But yeah, so we have Windows Vista Ultimate. RTM, no service packs, just standard Windows Vista from 2006. So what is this, a 13-year-old operating system at this point? Oh yeah, because Vista RTM came out November 1st of 2006. So it's exactly 13 years later that I'm trying this out. That's when Vista was officially released to manufacturing, and then it didn't actually get released until January 2007. But this exact build is exactly 13 years old. Wow. That is crazy. Anyways, yeah, so that's my installation of Windows Vista on my ThinkPad SL510 in 2019. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to update this to get all the ultimate extras, but I'm not going to install the service packs. I'm going to use this machine on the RTM of Windows Vista. I'll install security updates, but I will not install any service packs because obviously Vista RTM was the one that had all the issues. So I'm going to run this computer as my main laptop using Vista, this installation, for a month. So until December 1st, I'm going to run this, install everything on it, but no service packs, just the normal security updates. And we're going to see in 2019, after a month of this being my daily driver laptop, will the RTM of Windows Vista have any issues? Is it going to blue screen after a while? Is it going to be buggy? Is it going to crash? Is it going to be any less smooth than what it is right now if I can press the correct button? Like, look at this. Beautiful. But this is the RTM. So I'm going to run the RTM. This is what this is. 64-bit Windows Vista Ultimate RTM. I'm going to run this, install my programs on it, and use it for a month, 30 days. So 30-day challenge on Windows Vista, not only on Windows Vista, but Windows Vista RTM. And we're going to see what my experience is like. Is it going to blue screen? Is it going to have any issues? Or is it going to be smooth? So that's one thing that I think will be very interesting to try out. And I will report back in a month with an updated video to see how well Vista does after being my main OS on my main laptop for a month. So I think that'll be an interesting experiment. But anyway, guys, that wraps up this video of Windows Vista RTM being installed and unboxed in 2019, exactly 13 years later. So, with that said, this is Intelitech Studios signing out. Leave your thoughts on Windows Vista and this ThinkPad in the comments below. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.